How's it going, guys? So you may know me from my videos that I post on YouTube or on Flama or on What's Trending. You probably don't. That's okay, because today I'm actually here to tell you about this awesome organization called Dig Deep and a little something called the 4 Liters Challenge. Alright, so the first thing I normally do every morning is make coffee and breakfast. The 4 Liters Challenge is actually pretty straightforward. It's where you spend 24 hours trying to survive on just 4 liters of water, which is about 1 gallon. That 1 gallon is what you have to do everything, from drinking to bathing. There's a reason we chose the amount of 4 liters for this challenge, and that's because those living in water poverty around the world, that's about as much as they have to survive on a day, to use for everything, cooking, cleaning, drinking, including here in the United States. So where I am right now is actually the largest Native American reservation in the United States. And out here, some of the homes are so far removed that the nearest well is over 10 miles away. So they can't exactly get indoor plumbing into any of their houses. So what has to happen is that they get their water delivered by truck, and then they store it in whatever container that they can find. I'm talking buckets, barrels, whatever. That's all they have to live on until the next delivery, which can be anywhere between 2 weeks or over a month away. We took a tour of one of the homes on the reservation to see how real families make the most of their water every single day.
We have the buckets in the front and then the barrel in the kitchen.
This would have to last you 2 weeks, basically?
Yeah.
Was that tough? Was that tough at all?
Yeah, because we had to, especially when the water gets frozen during the winter.
Oh no. Did you guys ever run out at any point?
Yeah.
What would happen then?
And then we either ask neighbors for water, or during the winter we melt the snow.
Melt the snow like on the stove or something?
Yeah, and we wash dishes with it and take it back. Either a wash pan or...
Oh, so you just take it outside and just kind of...
Yeah, wash your hair and just...
out in the open, or here in the house?
No, in the house, but...
in the house, okay.
My mom and my dad got this one.
Okay.
So the older kids...
can just sit and...
Yeah.
Oh.
They put this one in about probably last year.
And it's just like a pump that runs from the bucket up into the shower.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know like about how much water you would have to use a day, or around?
Probably like 5 gallons.
Like,
for the household, probably.
For the whole house a day?
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So for 7 people, you'd say about 5 gallons a day. So that's less than a gallon per person. And that lack of running water creates more challenges than just conservation, as Emma Robbins, Dig Deep's head of American projects, explains.
Sanitation is really hard, and to do things like wash your hands, there is a little basin and it's like dirty water, and you're technically washing your hands, but it's old soapy water and you're not really getting clean.
This is an issue that hits extremely close to home for Emma, who is half Navajo herself and who grew up on the reservation with her family.
40% of Navajos that live on the reservation don't have running water. My grandparents didn't have running water, my cousins didn't have running water. I remember that they would come to our house to shower, or I remember my grandfather would come and hook up our hose to his barrels.
What happens when you run out? I imagine it has to happen every so often, yeah, so what happens then?
I mean, a lot of people don't live close to a safe well where you can just go and click a button. And you haul it from unsafe sources sometimes. We have a lot of livestock here and sheep. The water that livestock consumes is not what humans should consume. If they're drawing that from there, they can have a lot of health problems.
So you're saying they go to livestock wells, they go to livestock troughs?
Troughs, windmills. There's a lot of naturally occurring uranium on the reservation, and that blows into water sources that aren't tested, and people get cancer.
Bacteria, uranium, parasites, I'm sure.
Different heavy metals too, apart from uranium.
That's insane.
When people don't have to go and haul their own water or buy expensive bottled water, which obviously buying a ton of plastic bottles, in the long run is not good for the environment either.
Nope. So there's just a lot of collective benefit for the community of when families just have safe water.
Exactly.
Dig Deep is an organization with a simple goal: get clean water to the people who need it most. But getting water to many families here on the reservation presents a pretty tricky challenge. How do you get running water to a home that's too isolated to be connected to a traditional water line? So So the best way to get running water and indoor plumbing to homes like these is actually to dig a giant hole in the ground and then have a tank that gets filled regularly. Putting them this deep underground allows them to be protected from the elements and from contamination. And speaking of tanks, this is a tank that we're going to be hopefully installing over the next couple days. It's nice, it's big, it's sturdy, and hopefully it's going to change these people's lives. And that's the goal of Dig Deep's Navajo Water Project. Give families their own in-home water systems and make sure there are enough wells and water trucks to get their tanks filled regularly. Eventually, the project hopes to get all of these homes hooked up to traditional utility lines, but for now, these in-home water systems are changing lives in a huge way, since these are homes that have never had running water before.
That's such a little thing, but it's really important. You
Exactly.
know, you're able to brush your teeth, like
Totally.
things that were hard before are easy and they're a little extra.
You got it.
Thank you.
Do you want to see the welcome?
More pressure. Now we don't have to bring the bucket in and
Yeah.
use the little gadget thing. It's perfect. It's wonderful.
Systems like these are the most cost-effective way to get families running water right away, but they're still far from cheap. A system like this runs around $3,100, and Dig Deep makes it a point to try to provide these systems to families at no cost to them. And with hundreds of households waiting for their systems to be installed, and with Dig Deep being the only water nonprofit working in the US to solve this issue, the road to providing clean water to all of our country's first citizens and beyond is a long one. You guys have just started installing these systems. You guys are, what, 12?
We're at 12, yeah.
Yeah, you're at 12, and there's how many systems that need to get installed?
Right now, 204.
So you got a ways to go.
And that's just in this area. The reservation is huge, and so we're just working in a very small part of it. I'm hoping that we get to move to the res and other parts of the country, both native and non-natives. Need help. One important thing is that we do see this as a temporary solution. We do provide this one small thing, which is a huge step for people, but it needs to go even further.
Yeah, so this is the first of many steps for a lot of these families. But the good news is, there is a way to help, and that is where you come in. So in order for this Navajo Water Project to be a success, there are two main goals that need to be accomplished. First, there has to be enough money raised to install all those in-home water systems. But what's also important is for us to raise awareness about the issue. Not too many people know a lot about water poverty, or that it happens in first world nations like the United States. And even if you're familiar with the issue, there is a huge difference between awareness and empathy. By the way, did you also know that most Americans use 100 gallons of water per day? Which, when you put it like that, does seem pretty wasteful. And that's the whole reason why they created this 4 liters challenge to begin with. I know I, for one, didn't realize how much I took water for granted until I challenged myself to live on the bare minimum. So they're gonna be running a campaign throughout the month of October to try to get as many people to take the 4 liters challenge as possible, and then hopefully donating to the Navajo Water Project afterwards. And one of the best ways to promote campaigns like this is through professional influencers such as myself. Not only have a lot of us amassed pretty sizable audiences, but our audiences tend to be way more engaged than other media outlets. And even though we don't always seem it, at the end of the day, we are professionals, and creating these videos is actually a lot of hard work. And so as much as we love doing good whenever we can, we also got bills to pay, so not a lot of us really work for free. But this does create a pretty unique marketing opportunity for your brand, where you sponsor a 4 liters challenge video to help us get the word out about this cause, and also get some love on social media in the process. Because we won't just shout you out and thank you in the video, our creative team will also work with you and the influencer to create an integration that makes everybody look good. Influencer marketing videos are generally just a great way to drive traffic and engagement to your brand. But when these videos are associated with a cause, they get 50% more engagement right out of the gate, since people have more of a reason to get excited about the content that they're watching. Plus, it also makes your brand look good, not just because you're supporting a good cause, but depending on what you're marketing, you could also turn the challenge into a little bit of a selling point. Observe. And when it comes to washing my hands, I've got I've got these. I have a feeling these babies are gonna be my best friend today. Not to mention that the right integration and the right call to action can give you a chance to increase your sales through email collection, promo codes, and or donations per engagement. And on top of that, 4 Leaders gives you an opportunity to interact with and better engage the followers that you already have. In other words, both you and the creator get to drive engagement while helping the bottom line and benefiting a great cause. I believe that's what you business types would call a win-win. So 91% of global customers think that companies should care about way more than just making a profit. Doing good is good for business, so sponsor a 4 Leaders Challenge video and help us get clean water to American families who really, really need it.